Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Got my dad here.
Hello. We
have a fun project, hoping that it will work out, but with my dad's help, I'm sure it will. It is going to be DIY shelves with pretty cheap, not ingredients, supplies. We're not baking. We are here at CO Lumber, and we're just gonna get some stuff. I already got all the other supplies like a long time ago. I just wanted to start the vlog now because we might be building them. Don't know yet, but we're at least getting some of the supplies. So we're gonna go inside and see what we can find. Well, we've been here for 2 minutes and I already found the piece that we need. Well, we did not get wood from there because it turns out it was $9.50 per foot. So it was like $56, and I'm not trying to do that because I found shelves that I like at Target that are $15 a piece. So we're gonna go to Lowe's because it's just right up the street, and we'll see what we can find there. And if that wood is expensive too, then whatever. We'll just see. Just that easy?
Yeah.
$5?
$5.
Sweet. All right. And now we just need sandpaper. Did we pass it? Oh, it says it's right there. We got the wood. We got the stain. Now we just need some sandpaper.
It is a little car.
Yeah, without a worry either. Oh dang, look, my car's right there too. Alright, so that was pretty successful. We only spent $25 and got everything else that we needed. Stain, sandpaper, all that stuff. So screw that $56 crap. Do you got time to help me today?
Yeah, a little time.
Okay. Maybe if you could just help me cut it, that'd be okay. Because I don't trust myself with that. So we'll see in a second.
4.5 feet would be 2 feet and a quarter. Oh.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Do you want me to hold something? Does that look weird?
No.
Looks good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually kind of like it that long. Yeah. Perfect.
See, and you do a little test spot on the back side.
You want some gloves? I'm over here with my glove and I'm not doing anything. Just being prepared. Oh yeah. Man, I love this color.
And then let that dry. Flip it over. Do the back side.
Okay. Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Alright. Let me get you one. Do you just want a napkin or a wet one?
I'm good.
Hey Pete, you want to come say bye?
You leaving?
Yeah.
Just gotta go get some ketchup.
I will get some ketchup.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love you.
Love you too.
Love you, dude.
Love you too, bro.
See ya.
Alright, man.
Pete, look. Look.
God bless you, brother.
God bless you too.
Looks good, babe.
Thanks. Didn't do anything. So now I'm gonna actually be like constructing the shelves. So, but before I do that, I'm gonna explain everything and what you need. So, let me get the things.
Dude, where'd you get that haircut?
I did it myself.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Never gonna be able to make this video.
I need to cut my hair.
It has been like probably like an hour since I filmed that last video. So I went to get my stud finder, and then I was like, oh, I gotta put the battery in it. And then I realized I bought a freaking crap stud finder. So then I have to drive all the way to Ace Hardware and return it and get a new one. But I finally have all the things in front of me that we're gonna need for this project. So this is my inspiration. I'm gonna put the picture right here. So I found this on Pinterest and I was like, that looks so easy. I can probably maybe make that. So I bought this stuff and I think my total has come out to maybe like $40, which I'm gonna be making 2 shelves. And so I feel like that's a pretty decent price, because when I was looking for shelves on Target, Amazon, Walmart, all those places, shelves are so expensive. So I finally found one pair that I liked, and they were on sale for $15, but they were normally $25. So even that would have been $50. So I feel like this is a really like inexpensive way to make your own shelves, and they're really customizable, which is another great thing. While I'm showing you guys my supplies, I'm going to show you ways that you can customize it your own way, and I'm sure other ways would be cheaper than others. So the price can vary depending on what supplies you choose, but let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to need is wood. You guys already saw the video of me buying the wood with my dad. So we got, I think it was, shoot, I cannot remember. It was $15 for a 6-foot board, and then we just cut it in half. Or no, I think it was a 4-foot board. I'm sorry. And then it ended up being like 4.5 feet long. And then we just cut it in half. You can get whatever kind of wood you want, but you have to be careful, because something that I learned, which I'm glad that my dad was there to help me, is that not all wood you can stain it. Like, you can stain whatever you want, but it won't stay. So if you're planning on staining your wood, then make sure you buy and you do your research what kind of wood you can. From off the top of my head, I remember you can do white oak or red oak. Both of those you can sand and stain. The stain that I picked is early American, and that will look different on white oak versus red oak. So that's another thing you have to keep in mind. Think about what color stain you want, or what color board you want to end up with. I cannot remember for the life of me what this type of wood was called, but like I said, I will try to type it below, or it'll be in the description, either one. The next thing you're gonna need is stain. So you don't technically need stain. You can use spray paint, you can use, I was gonna do vinyl, but I couldn't find any that I liked that matched the style I was going for. You can do so many different things. It just depends on what color or style you want. You can even wrap it in fabric if you wanted to. I used early American, so if you like the color of the boards I have, that's what I used. It also matches the sign that I have above the window. If you are staining, you're gonna need to sand down the wood and make it smooth so that the stain goes on. And then you also are gonna need some type of rag. I use an old t-shirt, or you can use like paper towels or something. We have a little circular saw here, which we were able to cut it with, but if you don't have one of those, Lowe's will cut your wood, but their blades are like really dull, so it can ruin your wood. But that's another thing that you're gonna need, is some type of saw to cut your wood down to whatever size you need it. Then you're going to need some type of fabric. So I chose leather because that's what I saw in the picture, and that's what I really liked. I got this from Hobby Lobby, and I got it when it was on sale, so I spent $3 for all of this. I'm not even going to use the slightest bit of this. I'm literally going to be cutting it into strips, so I probably could have gotten away with getting like half of this. This is another thing you can customize. You can do any kind of fabric. You can also use bookends, but that is harder because you have to find wood that slides into the bookends. Option number 572 of ways you can customize it. That's all you're gonna need as far as like material supplies. And then as far as hardware, you're going to need, I have 2 different screws here. So if you see in the picture, you can see there's only 1 screw in that picture, the screw that attaches it to the top. But then I'm also going to be putting another one into the board just to make it a little bit more stable. It'll all make sense when I'm doing it. So you need to make sure that one is like a pretty screw because it's going to be shown. So I found these at Ace Hardware. They're just black round screws, and I really like the way this looks. It's really simple, and I think it'll turn out looking good. You'll only need 2 of these per board. I bought 6 just to be safe. And then I also bought these. So these are going to go behind the board, attaching the bottom part of the leather to the wall. You're not going to see these, so it doesn't matter what you get. So I just got the cheapest one I could find. If you're not lining it up to where you have studs, you need to get an anchor, or else, I don't know, it just seems scary. So I got these. This is what the Ace Hardware guy suggested. I think these were 33 cents a piece, so really inexpensive. And if this is going to be what keeps my shelves up nice and sturdy, I will spend 33 cents. So these things, you just like squeeze them and you push them into the wall, and then it opens like this, and then it's sturdy against the walls. And then you just screw your screw into that, if that makes any sense. So that is that as far as hardware. And then for tools, you're going to need a level, a pencil, tape measure, stud finder. This is optional, only if you plan on using, trying to use the studs in your wall. And then you're gonna need a screwdriver, and I think that's it. Let's get started. I'm gonna show you where I'm putting these first of all. So this is the window in our kitchen, and that's the little sign that I made. And I'm gonna be putting these right on this wall. My original plan was to make the shelves 18 inches long, but then we just ended up cutting the boards in half, and I like the way they look. They pretty much take up the whole wall, so I'll show you. This is what it looks like. The first step that I'm gonna do is I need to measure the leather, because I need to figure out how low I want them to hang, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna pull up the picture on my phone just for reference. This is where the indecisive part of me just destroys everything, because I can either do one shelf and have the strips really long, or I can do 2 like shorter shelves. So let me think about that really quick. Give me a second. Okay, so I figured it out. I'm gonna do 2. So now I need to see, I'm gonna put the bottom shelf hanging literally right above this light switch. And then I don't want the other one to be too high, or else I'm not gonna be able to like reach it, you know, if that makes sense. Let me scoot this up so you can see where, whoa. Whoa! Did that even do anything? Are we in the same exact spot that we were before? I don't know. Okay, so let's think. So I'm gonna do like 12, I'm gonna do one, make each of them maybe a foot or like 14 inches tall, and then I'm gonna leave probably like 6 inches of space in between both of them. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna measure the leather, okay, and then we're gonna attach the leather to the wall, and then the wood is gonna be the last thing that we use. So really quickly, I'm gonna measure this. So it's pretty long, which is good because we're probably gonna need that. And then, so I need the back piece to be a foot long, and then I need it to go out as the length of the wood, and then I need it to go back to the top. Okay, so we have to measure this length at 12 3/4 inches, because the height of this board, I guess, is 3/4 of an inch. So we need to account for that when you wrap it up like this. And then all we have to do is pull this up. Okay, so then if you line this up here, we want it to be kind of pulled tight like this. So then we're gonna say we need about, give ourselves some extra room. Then we need to measure this see how much this is. So we've got 32 inches. Now that we have that done, I need to measure how thick of strips I want. I think I'm gonna do like 1.5 inches. Okay, good plan. And then we need 4 of those. You need 2 per board. Holy crap is all I have to say. That took way too freaking long, but I did it. Let me get them. Oh, they're right here. So I cut 4 strips. They're not perfect, so I'm just gonna hope that the rough edgy look looks good. What I ended up doing is I laid the piece of fabric down, and then I got one of my boards, and then I lined this up with the edge of the flooring that's already on the floor, so I knew it was a straight line. And then I measured 2 inches into the fabric. You don't have to do 2 inches, I don't know why I did. I just put it in enough so I can make a new straight edge. And then I drew a line, so you can see it here. I don't actually think you can see it, it's at the bottom here. So this is gonna be up against the wall, so it doesn't matter if I use this. You could use anything that you don't mind. I use Sharpie just because I needed something that was either really dark or really bright to show up on the leather fabric. And then I just drew a straight line, and then I cut that with scissors. So then I measured 2 inches from that straight line that I just drew, and then I cut it there. So then I had one piece. And then I tried to just keep measuring 2 inches in, but it was not working for some reason. So I just took the strip that I had already cut, and I just like lined it up with the edge of the fabric, drew a straight line, cut it, and then I just did that. And that ended up being the fastest. So now I have all 4 of my pieces. Why is there only 3 here? Oh boy. Now what we need to do is measure where we're going to put them on the wall. So this is also going to take me a while because I have to figure out like where they'll both look good but also evenly spaced out. So I've got my tape measure here, and I'm going to get my stool really quick. Hi, this is me from the future. So I decided instead of recording me doing the first one, I was going to hang the first shelf, and then I would record myself hanging the second shelf because then I would know what I was doing. But then I hung the first shelf and decided I didn't want to do 2. So, sorry. If I ever decide to hang another shelf somewhere, I will record myself doing it so you guys can see. But I do like a talk through tutorial kind of thing of how I did that, so keep watching. Also, I wanted to mention, because you know a lot of people are going to be saying this, I recorded this a long time ago before all of this crazy shelter, stay at home, blah 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 happened. So this is not like super recent, I just have taken a really long time to edit it, so don't be mad at me. Okay, back to the video. So the only bad part about me not doing the other one is that now you guys can't visually see what I did. But it's pretty easy. You guys saw the most important parts, I guess. So I'll do like a really quick step-by-step run through so that you guys can get a full picture of what happened. So step 1, you need to buy the board, cut it to whatever length you want, sand it and stain it, and then buy whatever fabric you want here. I would suggest maybe getting a little bit thicker of leather. The one I got is kind of flimsy, so I won't be able to hang anything too heavy, which I'm not planning on doing anyways. But just keep that in mind. If you plan on putting like books or like big vases on it, get like the really thick leather and you should be fine. And then, so you need to measure it out. The way you determine length of the thing, you need to measure how long of like a bracket you want it to be in the back, and then measure however long the board is, and then how far this is to that. So the best way, the way that I did it, which you guys saw, I literally just laid it on the floor, measured how long I wanted this part to be, and then I wrapped it around and it worked. So, and then once you have that done, then you need to measure where you want to put it on the wall, make sure it's centered, or if you're not centering it, whatever, figure out where you want it in the wall, make some marks. So what I did is I wanted it 3 inches above the slide switch, so I made a mark there. then I wanted each side to be, or I wanted each leather strip to be 5 inches in. So then I just measured 5 inches in, I leveled it out. Either make sure you're screwing into studs, or if you're not, use these anchors to make sure everything stays nice and sturdy for you. If you're using the anchors, then you just make a hole in the wall that's a little bit smaller than what you need, and then you just hammer this into it and then you screw into your anchor, or you just screw directly in. So I had a black screw and a silver screw. The silver screw is what is behind this wood, and this was cheaper. This was 40 cents a screw for just the plain silver one. So then what you do, you take your leather, you measure down however long you want it to be. So in my case, it was 1 foot. I tried one way of making a hole in the leather, and then it just got bigger, and then the screw went right through the leather. So don't do that. Unless you have the really thick leather, then you might have to do that. Just make a really, really tiny hole. So then what you do is you just, we made a hole in the wall, and then we lined up the dot that I made on the leather with the hole we made in the wall, and then we just screwed it in both sides, and then you'll have a piece of leather just like dangling there. Let me show you with this, just like as an example. So you do this, then we screwed this into the wall, made sure it was centered. So then once it's in the hole, once it's in the wall like that, then it'll be like that. We're gonna pretend like this screws in the wall, okay? So we've got that screw in the wall, and then you're just gonna fold this up, and then you're gonna just line them up, and then you're gonna take whatever decorative screw, or if you just choose plain silver, that's fine. Then you screw this into the wall like that, and then you'll have it secure, and then you just slide the board right through it. So then you can leave it just like that. These front screws are optional. I just added those in to make sure it wouldn't like swing or the board wouldn't get uneven. So what I did is I made sure it was evenly spaced on both sides. And you need to make sure you measure the front of the board and the back of the board, because before this is screwed down, it can slide, and then it won't be even with the back. Mine ended up being 2 5/8 inches in, so then I just measured both of those. Then I measured the middle of this, and then I used, where is it? I used this tiny, tiny little drill bit, and I drilled a starting hole on both sides where I want it to be. Then I took out the wood, and I drilled it pretty far in. And then I took the silver screw, or any leftover screw you have. The reason why I had to use 2 different screws was because my black decorative one is a flathead, so it's hard to screw it in if there's not like a pre-existing hole. And then I put it back into the leather, and then I used my final screw and I screwed it in. So that's really simple. I really like the way it looks. Peter's, what's your final verdict, P? He's like, eh. Yeah, he doesn't mind it, but he doesn't love it. But I think once I have the whole kitchen set up, I think he will like it a little bit more, because it matches. So this is my simple DIY shelf. If I calculate it correctly, these shelves come out to $12 a piece. And if you look online, like the Pinterest thing the picture that I showed you guys, the cheapest one that I see is $16 a person, and that's just for the strap. Did I say $16 a person? $16 a strap, and that's just for one, so you have to multiply that by 2, which is $32. And then you still have to buy the wood and all the stuff on top of it. So I think this is a really good little hack, and it came out really cute. And you can do a lighter color leather, you can do darker stain, you can do, seriously, there's so many ways you can customize this. So that's why I really like this project, because you can turn it really into something completely different than this, but still using the same steps. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too confusing. Let me know if you guys like these kinds of videos, because now that I have been getting into the more like DIY stuff, I really have been liking it. So if you guys want more of these videos, please give it a thumbs up so I know you guys like it. And don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I finally have all of this stuff for my kitchen renovation video, and that should be coming out hopefully by the end of next week. I have to still clean the kitchen and purge everything and all of that stuff. So It'll be a while, but I'm so excited for it, and I'm so excited for you guys to see it as well. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you're watching this, and I will see you when I see you.